Hello there, my Cancerian collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign. Welcome to your Path of True Love reading for November 2019. I am your reader, Mark Angelo Lyons, Mal for short, they're my initials. President of Joining the Circle Production. Professional intuitive, professional witch, and just so thrilled, interesting to be here right now. That was just the Queen archetype card that popped out. I have the Queen archetype in Cancer in my chart. There you go. That was for me. To my subscribers, thank you so much. Pardon the noise in the background. My cats don't really understand daylight savings time, so they're wanting to be fed now, and it's so not time for them. They are on a schedule, and I got them a nice scratchy toy, which they are demolishing. 3 boys. What are you gonna do, boys? To those of you new to my channel, welcome, welcome, welcome. Please do like and subscribe. I'm a lot of fun. If you'll check out some of my other stuff, you will find that I can deliver truth with humor and compassion. So I'm not everybody's cup of tea. Nobody's everybody's cup of tea. But I am certainly honored and thrilled and delighted for this career move that I made onto YouTube to do this reading. I just had a spiritual counseling client come to the house. It was lovely. She got me my favorite Starbucks drink, blonde iced venti skinny vanilla latte. So I'm caffeinated, my heart is open. We had a lovely session. I love doing one-on-one work with people, but until the next one comes, this will do just fine for me. You know what I'm saying? So let's get down to business here. This is a Path of True Love reading, which if you are new to my work, let me clarify that. The Path of True Love is your path, right? Other people may be indicated. There may be court cards popping up left, right, and center. But it is still your path. You could see it as your spiritual path, your healing path, your life path, as seen through the archetypal lens of your relationships. The idea is that the path of true love chips away the excess marble so that the true love that you already are can be revealed, right? It's removing the obstacles to love's presence, which is your divine inheritance. Course in Miracles introduction, pretty much page 1. So, yeah, we're going to look at what's going on for you in the month of November 2019 in terms of your relationships and how everything in your relationships, whether you like it or not, whether you want it or not, is here to help you grow, heal, learn, become the best that you can be and fulfill your role in the divine plan. You don't have to like it. You can actually actively hate it, and that's fine. There are plenty of things that I've gone through just in these past couple of weeks that I didn't want to have to do, but I had to do it. I had no other option. It was either be healthy or stay stuck. So I chose it, but now on the other side of it, I'm like, oh, thank God I did that. That was the best thing I ever could have done in that situation, right? So these readings, they are general readings, so they're not for everybody. When I bless the cards, which I always do before I hit record, I ask my collective pantheons of angels, gods, masters, and the higher selves of all involved that these be truly helpful to whoever watches them. So there might be like one piece of information that clicks for you and the rest doesn't. That's fine. But that's also why I always, at minimum, when I'm doing a zodiacal read, to do Sun, Moon, Rising, and I will add, you know, Venus or Mercury or Mars, depending upon anything else that needs to be going on. You got me? Cool. So let's dive in. I'm going to be pulling one card from 7 different decks. All the decks that I use are always the last thing at the bottom of my description box. You can scroll down and look at that. And as you're scrolling down, my 2 ebooks are on there as well. My website's on there. And I even put the Vimeo link to the 5 classes I did on the Path of True Love 2 years ago. That went up around 2 years ago. They are 5 classes. They're $10 each. Unlimited views. You can watch them forever. There's a lot of info in them, and they are the foundation upon which my 3rd ebook is based on, called The Path of True Love from a Professional Witch by Mark A. Lyons. Yes. Good. That everything. Oh, one more thing. We're going to be doing masculine, feminine in this, divine masculine, divine feminine, but they're about your divine masculine and your divine feminine energy. They may mirror to somebody else. They might, you know, say, no, that's that person. That's that fill in the blank person that did me wrong or did me right. Do me wrong, do me right. Thank you, James Taylor. His voice, I mean, really. Oh, woof. So take it as it comes. Go check your other signs. But when we're talking about divine masculine, divine feminine in this, you'll see when we get there. Cool, cool. Yeah, one last thing. My guides are saying, please remember to breathe. I will try and remember to breathe consciously and deliberately, with the understanding that every time we inhale, we're breathing in all of the light, the truth, the prana, the chi, the whatever it is that we need, the life force energy that we need in that moment, and we exhale anything that does not serve, that is ready to go. There may be lots of stuff that does not serve, but that doesn't mean it's ready to go, right? You can't inhale everything all at once, even if you're waiting to exhale everything at once. I don't know about you, most of the time I'm waiting to inhale. It's such an old joke with me and my friends. Okay. Breathe. Just a couple of nice deep breaths. You don't have to force it. The deeper the exhale, automatically, the deeper the inhale is, as I'm watching kitties about to do bad things. Sabby, I'm watching you. You know better. Whatever. Let's do this. Here we go. My collective pantheon of angels, gods, and masters, please one archetype card to represent this Cancerian collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign for the month of October 2019. On the path of true love, what is the dominant archetype that they are would be most helpful, most useful for them to look at to alchemize from lead to gold? Ooh, the gambler. Risky, 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 taking risks. Now, every archetype, if you're new to the channel, I do this every time. If you're not new to this channel, it's like, oh, can we get this over with? I know. Every archetype is shadow and light, lead and gold. It's a perfect balance. You find where you are on the lead to gold scale, right? Alchemy. Lead has 3 extra atoms than gold, so something must be burned off, transformed, in order to get that alchemy in place to move the shadow to light. But you have to acknowledge you have to acknowledge it first, right? So I'm going to read these, read what's written on this card, and understand this is the main energy that we're looking at. Every other card that hits the table is going to be related back to this. In other words, 1 card and 6 clarifiers, right? So in the shadow attribute, usually I read the light first, but since those Samhain reads, and those were something else, weren't they, those Samhain reads, I've been reading the shadow first, then the light. So this way you get the bad news over with, right? So what you're trying to alchemize, the shadow you're bringing into light, is relying on luck rather than hard work, right? It's like, oh, well, I put it out to the universe, and if it's meant to happen, it's going to happen. It's like, that's not a gamble. Well, it turns into a gamble if you don't take action, right? Action is necessary. Relying on luck rather than hard work, right? What you get out of it is what you put into it. It's just how this world works, whether that's in the mind, what you're thinking about, what you're visualizing, what you're praying for, or the literal physical hard work, right? Like, you can play the lottery every day for the rest of your life, but where are you getting the money to pay the lottery, right? And by all means, if you really have an intuitive hunch to play it, play it. But if you're doing that in hopes, instead of doing the work that is being given to you, because everything that happens to us is happening for us, right? Everything in the inner or outer, and you don't have to like it, but if you can rise to the occasion and just do your best, right? That's the hard work, particularly if it's internal and in dealing with relationships. The light attribute, and I love this part, willingness to follow intuition even when others doubt you, right? So even if everybody's like, no, you should stick with it, it's there, and your gut is saying, get the fuck out of Dodge, you'll get the fuck out of Dodge. Or you'd be like, well, you know, maybe it'll all just work out. I tend to be lucky with these things. I don't really... That's the shadow side of it. And I don't often see that rewarded in the universe, because we have to grow, heal, learn, and become the best that we can be. Yeah. Instead of always hoping, because, you know, in the quantum, you throw the dice, there's one quantum variation where you get snake eyes, another one where you get boxcars, and everything in between. I don't gamble. When my family, when we go away to like a resort or something, because my parents love to gamble, Zeus and Hera as I call them, they'll give me some money because they know I don't gamble. They're like, here, go play this. I'm like, thanks. And I go to the bar and drink that rum and Diet Coke, because the Diet Coke keeps you awake, and the rum mellows you out. I don't drink much, but when I do, potion witch. So that gambler archetype, everything's going to be coming back to that. And you know, even as I tune into this, I can feel a grumbling in someone's second chakra, like, oh, I don't know. Oh, I don't know. Do I take the risk? Do I take the not? But life is risk. Every time you step out of bed in the morning, it's the Fool card, right? Jumping into the new day. You don't know what's going to happen. There are no guarantees for anyone, not even the masters got guarantees, except that if they kept doing the work and keep walking the path, right, that they would make it all the way home. So let's ask the angels, shall we, with the Doreen Virtue Healing with Angels Oracle. Breathe. I tend to go really fast when the energy gets high, so I have to breathe too, so that I can really make sure everything that's coming through gets through, that I don't rush and forget stuff. My angels, please, one card in clarity for this Cancerian collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign. What's going on for them on the path of true love, please? For November 2019, we've got the Gambler archetype. Can you please clarify one card for this Cancerian collective? Well, the Guardian Angel, which is the higher self. Right? Your fifth dimensional self and above, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, onward and upward, and all the way back to source. So there's something here about getting guidance from your true self. Now, there are some who say, and I agree, that the higher self, the fifth dimensional self, in a sense, is a future self, as this planet is rapidly moving into fifth dimensional awareness, unity consciousness, if you will. That's why we're seeing so much destruction on the third dimensional level. Not that we're all going to be like this one unity consciousness amoeba, no, but that we are absorbing the third and the fourth dimension into the fifth, transforming it as it goes, lead to gold. So as we are doing our own alchemy, integrating the higher self, living as the higher self, right? Healthy heart, healthy mind, healthy choices, right? As we do that for ourselves, because of the holographic nature of this game, the whole game evolves. It's like leveling up, right? Everybody wants to level up. Well, we level up individually within our own selves, Cancerian, particularly like emotional healing, any of that kind of stuff, inner child work, loving what rises, loving yourself in the truest, most powerful sense that you can manage. Keeping your conduct, your choices, your words in alignment with that. That is all about embodying the guardian angel as the higher self. Now, I actually do have a video that I did at Summerland Unitarian Church about a month ago, I guess. Yeah, it was right around summer solstice, I think. Not summer solstice, autumnal equinox. Called Angels in Disguise. Go check that out. I taught that stuff. I almost said I taught that shit for decades. I did. Story for another time, right? So that's interesting. We got the Gambler with the Guardian Angel. So in a sense saying, it's okay, honey, you can take this risk. This is already scripted. It's scripted. It's time for you to take this risk. But if you don't take this risk, you're going off on that quantum variant instead of that one, right? Because that's the golden one, that's the leaded one, and I'm sure there are many in between, right? Calling hedge your bets. Can't get it wrong, never get it done. Thank you, Abraham Hicks, right? Until you get it done. Get her done. Can't believe I just did Larry the Cable Guy. All right, now we're doing something a little different. Now, for my new people, you don't know, but for my regulars, for my subscribers, we are going to be looking at the divine feminine within you using the Daughters of the Moon Tarot, and we're going to be looking at the divine masculine in you. Oh, look, the Hierophant with the Mythic Tarot. So we're going to ask the goddesses for one card to represent your divine feminine energy. Shall we? Breathe. God, it just always works. Focus on the breath. Be the breath. Be with the breath. My goddesses, please, one card in clarity for this Cancerian collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign on the path of true love for November 2019. We've got the collective pantheon saying that they need to look at the Gambler archetype. The angels are talking about the guardian angel, the higher self, fifth dimensional and above. Please, my goddesses, one card in clarity. What say you about the divine feminine of this Cancerian? Temperance. So there's a bit of discipline going on here. There's a bit of interior work going on here. Certainly it's about balance, but temperance is about patience. It's about discipline. It's about bringing your fire and your water into balance, which is certainly indicative in this card. That the water is the emotion. The fire is the will, the choice. So sometimes we can very, very much want something, right? Fire, desire, passion. I want that, but my emotions, if they're not in balance with that, but I really want it, but I never get anything. right? Can be that. Because it has to be balanced, because if it's too much fire, it evaporates the water. If it's too much water, it puts out the fire, right? So we have to find that balance. Right? People say temper, temper. That means like your anger is getting out of control. Temper it, like tempered steel. It's unbreakable eventually, tempered steel. That's the idea of it, right? So it's about getting stronger, but stronger through patience, balance, and discipline. It's also a part of fairness about that too, but that's not necessarily represented in that card. Easier to see that in the card of justice. So that's your divine feminine energy. So that's going on inside of you. An interior process of temperance. So now let's find out what's going on with the divine masculine. As I ask my gods, they like this. They like that I'm asked that the goddesses get their own deck and the gods get their own deck. Usually they're all in the one, but since I whipped out the Mythic Tarot, they've been really loving this. My gods, please, one card in clarity for this Cancerian collective. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign on the path of true love. For November 2019, the collective says the gambler, the angels say guardian angel, the goddesses say temperance. My gods, what say you for this Cancerian collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign on the path of true love for November 2019? Woo-hoo-hoo! The High Priestess. Now, what's very interesting about that is, this is a feminist deck, so all of the cards are pretty much female, feminine, except for one card, Pan, who represents both the Emperor and the Hierophant, all as one. But here we have Persephone. Persephone Underground. The Persephone Underground. Oh, it's so magicians. Can't wait till that comes back. If Elliot wasn't young enough to be my son, Hale Appleman. A beautiful man. Sorry, I digress. Boys. This is the High Priestess, Persephone in the underworld, who holds all the secrets. And so, indeed, right, she's holding a pomegranate and lilies. Just to know that the High Priestess in this card represented by Persephone. Persephone is in and of herself a threefold goddess. A lot of people don't know this. She is the Kore, K-O-R-E, the Maiden of Spring. She is then the Summer Lady, lethal. The sun that scorches and kills, right? Like heat, prostration, all of that stuff. And then for 6 months out of the year, she is queen of the underworld from Mabon to Ostara, or if you like, fall equinox to spring equinox. And my boys are doing acrobatics. Isn't that sweet of them? So there's something here, right, about something hidden, that you've got something hidden, that there's a risk you have to take, and your guardian angel, your higher self, is pushing you forward. Inside, you're trying to balance it. Perhaps there's some fury and fear in here. Like the fury is the fire, the water is the fear, and they're sort of canceling each other out, but you're keeping it totally secret and to yourself, secret, hidden knowledge. So there may be some deception in here, but I'm getting the feeling it's necessary deception. Like there are times, well, it's like when I'm having a bad day, I don't post it all over social media. That's not me being secretive or deceptive. That's just me keeping to myself, right? I only post like loving, positive stuff. Maybe a little snark here and there. I am first of all, I'm me. I'm a Virgo from New York. So, I'll put my sarcastic, fun stuff on there too, but I really don't post when I'm going through a rough time, what's going on. That's my business. But my sense is there's something different going on here, that you're being covert in a way, and I don't want to say to save your life, but there is a risk here that you don't want anybody knowing about the risk that you are taking. Maybe you are taking a gamble for your life, either to improve it, to get it back. Who knows so far? Let's ask the Masters, the Ascended Masters. My Masters, please, one card in clarity for this Cancerian collective. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign on the path of true love for November 2019. Please, where are they on the path of true love, considering we've got the Gambler here, the Guardian Angel, Temperance, and High Priestess, which feels very much like someone is biding their time to say something, to do something, to make a move. But it is a risk. Like, the risk is definitely felt here with that Gambler card. So can you please give us one card of clarity, a nice piece of accuracy for this Cancerian about what's going on here? An adventure. I think you're keeping this secret because you want to go on an adventure. You want to go where you have not gone before, experienced what you have not experienced before. I'm sorry, one of my cats is eating a plastic bag in the kitchen. Milky, I know it's you. He's a plastic eater. I don't know why. He's like, me? So, yeah, of course you're keeping it secret. And of course in the internal you're balancing yourself. You're being patient. You're not saying anything. I feel like you're going to make a dash for your life, into a new life. Just the feeling that I get. Now, it doesn't say anything about the situation that you're in. It's showing internal, external state here. But with this guardian angel, you could say that your guardian angel is you in the future holding the space of how great it is, calling you forward. And there's this pull, right? It's just which, well, just like in a video game, you know, you got to beat the boss, but, you know, how are you going to get there, right? Jump, jump, kick, 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 shoot, 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 right? But that you're really keeping this, boys, quiet. Excuse me for one moment. What the fuck are you doing? I'm so sorry about that. I just don't want him eating plastic. I know. He finds it. Like, I put it up, he finds it. He's my youngest. I was the youngest. Are you shocked? You shouldn't be. I'm the one they let juggle knives and read tarot at age 12. So that adventure, yeah, the call of adventure, and your higher self is in the future saying, come on, it's great, don't be afraid, take the risk. You're like, well, I don't know, maybe if I just do nothing, it'll just happen. It's like, that's the rougher road. The game is going to play itself out. The divine plan is going to be fulfilled, but your participation is necessary, right? Your growth, your healing, your moving forward. So let's ask your higher self and the higher selves of all involved here. With the delightful, delicious, lovely Whispers of Love Oracle. Breathe. The higher selves of all involved, please, a whisper of love, one card of clarity for this Cancerian collective sun, moon, rising, Venus sign on the path of true love for November 2019. Considering that the collective pantheons are talking about the gambler archetype, the angels are talking about the angels, the goddesses are talking about temperance for the divine feminine within this Cancerian, the gods are talking about the high priestess in context with their divine masculine, the masters are given the go-ahead with a luck, one of the cards in the luck suit adventure. So please, the higher selves of all involved, one card of clarity for this Cancerian who's watching. Do something for someone else. Give your attention to someone else. Now, that's really interesting. Because what I'm getting from this isn't about like not doing what it is that you have to do here. Of course you have to do for yourself, right? This is your guardian angel. This is your higher self. But are you keeping this secret, covert, this high priestess card, right? Because the balance, the temperance inside is great. That's healing. But are you keeping the secret from somebody? That do something for someone else, like be honest, right? Like let them in on what's going on, particularly if it affects them, right? If you're looking at going on an adventure with them or with someone else, now it's different if it's a surprise party. I'm not getting that. Like, you know, oh, and it's a surprise party. No, that's not what I'm feeling here. I'm feeling this is a great big risk, a great big gamble that you're taking. And I'm sorry, there is some risk and gamble of the birthday person finding out, but that's not what this is. So do something for someone else. Give your attention to someone else. Like, for instance, if you are going through a rough patch with this and you are alchemizing this on the inside, maybe you're dealing with depression. Maybe you're dealing with, you know, all sorts of emotions and stuff coming up. You are a Cancerian. You may be feeling the pain and suffering of the collective of humanity. That's the holographic part of it too. As we heal, all heals, right? That's why every time we repress, like every time we don't deal with our anger and our wrath by loving what rises, alchemizing it, doing that loving work for ourselves, we push that wrath down into the collective, and there's now more violent energy on the planet rather than it coming up through us to be healed. So figure maybe like 2 to 25% of it is what's in your cell tissue, right? The other whatever percentage, well, I guess that would be 98 to 75%. Wow, they're giving me math. That's nice. Is what's in the collective. So as you heal, we all heal. So do something for someone else. Oh, and from a higher self perspective, that's totally a thing. It's if you can get it, it's like this risk that I'm taking isn't just for me. That this is about in some way me liberating myself and going on an adventure and breaking out of the same old, same old. Keep doing the same thing over and over, right? What is insanity? Doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results. This is calling you forward to take a risk, to do something new, and that it is an adventure supported by the Ascended Masters, which kind of says that it is meant to be. It is scripted. Now, you may notice I've only pulled 6 cards because we're introducing the new deck. The Journey of Love Oracle. It's so good. And I'm going to read it from the book. Why? Because I only got this deck a couple of weeks ago. I don't know it. There are still cards here that I haven't studied and meditated upon. And honestly, with my schedule, I'm just going to learn this on my own as I go. But every time I pull a card for myself or for a situation or for a client of mine and I read what's in the book, we're both like, holy crap, they're really good. They're really, really, really good. So just as we started asking the pantheons, the collective pantheons, we're going to do the same for this one, and then I'll read it out of the book. Cool? Here we go. Breathe. One more. Here we go. My collective pantheon of angels, gods, masters, and the higher selves of all involved. Please, one card in clarity. The Journey of Love card for this Cancerian collective, sun, moon, rising, Venus sign on the path of true love for November 2019, considering the gambler, the guardian angel, temperance, high priestess, adventure, the adventure, and do something for someone else. What say you? 3 to 1. 3 to 1. Sounds like decent odds. It depends on, what we're talking about. Card number 10. Oh, I didn't even know that card was in. That's what I mean. It's like, I'm not going to do this just from what I know of the cards yet. I just have them for a few weeks. Oh, by the way, the author is Alana Fairchild. Rasuli, I believe, is either the artist or the poet, or Richard Cohn, C-O-H-N. Is because there's the author, the artist, and a poet that collaborated, right? Oh, and this is very, very quick. 3 to 1. There is a heavenly child in your midst, M-I-D-S-T. It may be within your heart, in your womb, or a glimmer in your eye, soon to be. This child holds the key to the fulfillment of a process that is happening for you now. The child might be a physical culmination of your marriage or commitment to another. It might be a symbolic birthing of a new self after a time of learning to bring male energies of protection and discernment together with female energies of feeling and creativity, whether within yourself or in your relationship with another. This child might symbolically be a new life, an improved relationship, a book, a new job, a completely renewed way of dealing with what was once a challenging issue and soon will not be an issue for you anymore, just to name some examples. From masculine to feminine to child, there is now just one, a new reality dawning with grace. This oracle holds a message for you. New life is upon you now. You are being reborn, and you will give birth to what is meant for you in this lifetime. There is no need to worry. Just pray with an open heart that you may be supported to fulfill your destiny. You already are, of course, but prayer can help you realize it. Make it real. The rest is in the loving and capable hands of the divine. That's really cool. Now the poem. Love is what makes the heart beat faster. The lump in my throat. The feeling of missing you so much that I can't wait to be with you again. And then we are. And I look in your eyes deeper, and I know the unspoken words that say I love you, and feel words in return. How short each lifetime seems, but what I feel with you lasts forever. May love be the compass that guides you on the course of a lifetime. I'm sorry, that just sounds like the Divine Mother and the Divine Father talking to the Divine Child. 3 to 1. That it's mother, father, child, right? The Sacred Heart, the Sacred Mind, and then what does the child do? Draw from both to take sacred action, sacred choice, sacred decision, our conduct, a brand new life. So now let's put this all together. That was freaking beautiful. Now you see why I brought those cards in. There's something else. So look, the Collective Pantheon, which also gave you this card. All of them voted. I'm glad I wasn't in that room, at least not consciously, right? Saying that there's the gambler here, just to remind you, shadow attribute, relying on luck rather than hard work. Light attribute, willingness to follow intuition, even when others doubt you, right? So this does feel like you're taking a risk that other people are doubting for you and don't want you to take. But the guardian angel, the angels are saying your higher self is in alignment with this. Let it lead the way. In other words, you're not jumping off this cliff, right? You are not taking this gamble, walking this tightrope by yourself. You are being supported and held by your true divine self, fifth dimensional higher self and above. And on the inner, yeah, you're going through a process of temperance. You're going through a process of getting strengthened through discipline, through patience, biding your time, being patient, and in the meantime, working yourself, balancing your emotions and your desires, right? Your emotions and your choices, because out of balance, the water gets all dark. You start making, really, really dark choices, harmful choices to yourself and everyone around you. The divine masculine in you, say the gods, is just, what? No, everything's fine. Now that is lying. But the feeling about this, it's more like you're keeping it secret. And there's nothing wrong with keeping something sacred and safe if it's all about you. But if there are other people involved, or if there are other people who are like, you better not even be thinking of doing that, you're like, no, who, me? Like planning an escape, right? If you're trying to escape a toxic situation into a new life, of course you're going to keep it safe. You don't want your abusers to know, right? But the masters are saying that this is an adventure. Like, yeah, it may be a terrifying adventure. There may be a lot of risk. There's always a risk. It's not an adventure if there's not a risk. Is it the hero's journey without challenge, without risk? Of course not. That's just running errands. This is definitely something your soul contracted, came into experience in this life. And perhaps it is about service. Perhaps it is about leaving one situation to go to another to do something for someone else, but that it has to be supported. It is supported, one would think, by the higher self and the masters and the gods. So, like, even this High Priestess card, which can be a little iffy in this situation, and maybe for some of you it is, some of you it might be outright deception. Not great. Not great. Covert action. Not great. But I do feel like there's something healthy about keeping this to yourself for the majority. And what are we talking about here? We're talking about the union of your divine masculine, your divine feminine, and your divine child inside of you, about bringing it all together. 3, 2, 1. Moving into new life, giving birth to yourself and all of that. There they go, scritching again. I swear, my boys. They are active. And I'm happy for it. A very, very interesting read here, I have to say. We've got the Gambler, the Guardian Angel, Temperance, the High Priestess. But 2 major arcana cards, right? This is a big deal. This isn't just, oh, should I go on vacation or not? No, this is about an adventure. This is about the path of true love. This is about willing to take the journey and surrendering to the journey by being active, though. Not that thing of, well, I guess if I'm supposed to go on this journey, the gods will make it happen. They want to see us grow. They give us these adventure opportunities, these risks, so that we will grow as souls and become less fearless by understanding when we're following grace, when we're following guidance, following our soul, following the intuition, following the guardian angel of the higher self, even if we're keeping it secret, even when we're doing with the internal temperance, then we can take the risk, take the adventure, and somehow it serves another, right? Either one individual or all of life, bringing us all together into a new opportunity for new life. Well, that's what I see for you, my Cancerians. I hope it helps. I hope it serves. If you're new to the channel, please do like and subscribe. And may the Cancerian collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign be blessed with all that they need on the path of true love for November 2019. But for now, my Cancerian crablets, I love you, I love you, I love you. Hail, farewell, and blessed day.